Hello everyone, this is Unit 2, Lesson 1A, and we are going to learn about slope. Alright, learning target, I can calculate slope for a set of coordinates or given points on a coordinate plane, and we are going to go right into the do now. So part A says to find the values of y if the set of x equals -1, 0, 1, 2, and 3. And it says, hint, use substitution. So we are going to use substitution. And right here, up here, we have the equation of the line. And we have y equals mx plus b, which is the equation of any line. We'll learn more about that later, where the m stands for the slope and the b stands for the y-intercept. But just for now, we are going to substitute the given x into this equation. So we're going to put y equals 2, and every time that you substitute, put it in parentheses, -1 minus 1. So we're bringing the calculator up, and we have 2 parentheses, -1, and that's times and -1, and we are going to press enter, and that is your y. So you put your -3 here. Go ahead and do the same for the next one. It's 2 times 0, and show your substitution just like that. Y equals 2 times 0. When you go to your calculator, you're substituting 0 in, and the answer is -1. Do the rest. Substitute with me as I go. Y equals 2 times 2 minus 1. Y equals 2 times 3 minus 1. You could use your calculator at all times. If not, you could just basically figure out 2 times 1 is 2. 2 minus 1 is 1. 2 times 2 is 4. 4 minus 1 is 3. And 2 times 3 is 6. Minus 1 is 5. So what I want you to do on this side, on the right side, what I want you to do right now is please put x, comma, y. That is really how you write your coordinates. It is x first and y second. And you could think of it as like x and y in the alphabet. X comes first, y comes second. Same thing with coordinates. X comes first and y comes second. So we have the x-axis right here. So you go right and left first, and then this is the y-axis right there, the vertical line. So then you go up and down. So we want to write these as coordinates right next to each other. The x is -1, so we're going to put -1 down and comma -3. Then the next one is x is 0, so we're going to put 0 down first, and -1 is the y. This one right here is 1, comma 1. The next one is 2, comma 3. And the next one, the last one, is 3, comma 5. Okay, so let's go ahead and graph this. We always start at the origin. The origin is 0, 0. So make sure that you're always starting at this point right there. That's your home base. That is called the origin, 0, 0. So from 0, 0, we're going to go -1, comma -3. -1 on the x-axis is left 1, follow my pen, and down 3, because it's -3. Put a big point right there. 0, -1 is not moving left or right. We're going to go down to -1 though, because the y is -1. Put a point there. 1, comma 1, both positive. We're going to go to the right now from 0, 0. 1 and 1 up. Put a point there. From 0, 0, we're going to go 2 to the right, 2, comma 3, up 3. Put a point there. And then finally 3, 5 is 3 to the right and 5 up. Please connect those points with a straight line, a straight edge. Please use a ruler to connect those points. And also, please make your arrows. Make your arrows, one arrow there and one arrow there. And that is your graphed line. You showed your substitution. You are finished. And the equation that is given right now is y equals 2x minus 1. That's what we're going to put directly on the line. That's the equation of that line. We're going to put it directly on the line, and we're going to move on to the next page. So it says, in your groups, define slope of a line. Now, I asked this in a lot of different classes, and I asked, really, what is slope? People looked around and didn't know. So think about, try to answer these questions on your own, not in your groups. Define slope of the line. B is list what you know about slope of the line, graph below. And then where have you heard the term slope used in real life, and what did it mean? Go ahead, answer those questions. Press pause now. So, in your groups, define the slope of a line. Slope is the measure of the incline or decline of a line. All right, so the steeper the line, the greater the slope. All right, and the further that number is away from 0. Lines could have an incline going up or decline going down, and we'll review that. B says list what you know about slope of the lines graph below. We'll do that together. And where have you heard this term slope used in real life? What did it mean? I heard slope pertaining to skiing, right? Slope of a hill, a ski slope, and the steepness of any hill. Right? There's also slopes of roller coasters where it has a steep drop. That is the slope. Also, with what you're talking about, slope, you're talking about a treadmill of some sort and raising that treadmill up so you can have more of an incline when you're working out. That's also slope, the steepness of a line. So let's move down to here, and we're talking about these hamsters. So what you want to do is put L and R on the top, so of any page. Now we're reading a graph from left to right all the time. Your eyes are going this way. Your eyes are going from left to right, like you read a book. So when you do read from left to right, is this line going up or is it going down? Left to right, look at my pen. Is that going up or down? Yes, if you said up, you're talking about a positive slope. And I'll type that. Okay, so that is a positive slope. It goes up from left to right. So taking another look at this graph, and I'm going to put the L and the R on the top. Is this from left to right? If you read it, does this go up? Does this line go up or does it go down? Look at my pen, going up or down from left to right. If you said down, you are correct. So this is a negative slope. All right, so that is a negative slope going down from left to right. Now take a look at this hamster right here. that is the line. And from left to right, what are you going to say about that one? What's the slope of that line? Is there an incline? Is there a decline? No, it's a straight horizontal line. And we say that that slope is 0. So we're going to put 0 slope. And by the way, M stands for slope. So I'm going to put down that that M is slope. And that M for horizontal line is 0. So there you have it, slope of 0, horizontal line, and I just going to tell you how I remember it. You see this O right there? That reminds me of 0. So if I know that this is a horizontal line, that means that O, horizontal lines, always have a slope of 0. You'll never forget that if you remember that a horizontal line is going across from left to right. All right. So this line right here, this is a vertical line. And what now, can you measure the steepness of that? It's like a wall. So whenever you measure the steepness of a wall, you really don't come out with anything. You can't actually figure it out. So we say that that slope is undefined. So you could refer back to this page as something that that you could look at quickly to identify slope. Up from left to right, positive slope. Down from left to right, negative slope. The one horizontal line, the third one, that is a horizontal line and that is 0 slope. Vertical line, undefined slope. And that is pretty much everything, all right? All identifications of slope. Going on to the next page, the M represents slope. The M represents the slope. So when I said M before, this right here, just put a star next to it, that means slope. M. This is the slope formula for when you have a graphed line, used when 2 points are given on a graph. So we're going to look at this and we're going to say, all right, rise over run is the formula. So that's the one that we're going to focus on right now. We are going to do this. I'll show you exactly how it's done right after the rise over run. But right now, we're going to focus right on this graph. Anytime you figure out slope of a line, you only need 2 points. So if they give you the points, that's good. If they don't give you the points, you have to make the points in the corners of the boxes on the line itself. So do you see this point right here? It's given to us. I'm going to make that a little, I'm going to trace it and I'm going to trace it right here. Right? Do you see how it's like in the corner of this box right here? And this is in the corner of the box. They give you the 2 points. Just use the points that they give you. So the idea is that you have to measure the incline of this line. And the one way that you can measure the incline in this line is to actually draw a right triangle. Create a right triangle connecting those 2 points. And the way I think about it is that these grids on the coordinate grid, these grids, these lines, you just have to trace, you have to follow the lines. So it's basically, you're going to say, all right, I'm going to start here and I'm going to draw to the right. I'm going to move to the right and then move up to the other point. I can't make any other figure. If I make any other figure, it is incorrect. And if I go off the lines of the graph, it is incorrect. So let's go ahead and see what this is. So from here to here, and I'm going to do this in yellow because I'm not going to do this all the time. From here to here is 1. From here to here is 2. So I'm going to put a 2 down that I did go to the right 2. Then I'm going to go up 1, 2, 3, and 4. So now I'm going to put 4 on the outside like this. And by the way, I have an L and an R here. This is the right side of my graph. This is my left side of my graph. So when I look at this graph, is this line going up or is it going down? Is it going up or is it going down? If you said it's going up, we know this has a positive slope. So that has a positive slope, and now we're going to go back and we're going to write out the rise over run formula again. All right, so we have the rise over run formula, and the rise is always the number that is going up or down, up or down. So that is the 4. I'm going to put the 4 on the top of my fraction. My run is always from left to right, always. So that means it's 2. So the slope here is 2. Right? And it's positive 2. The line's going up from left to right, and that's basically it. But there is another slope formula, and we are going to cover that right now. The slope formula right here is m equals y2 minus y1, which is the rise, over x2 minus x1, which is the run. All right, so this is used, this slope formula is the same thing. It looks different, but the change in the y's, which is the rise, change how much it changes in y's, over the change in the run, which is how far it goes back and forth, left and right. Right? Used when 2 points are given without a graph. So let me go down here now, and this is the slope formula. Always write your slope formula down, and then the next thing that you do is to label your points. Please do not forget to label the points. This is the first x that I see, that 2. So we're going to put down x1. This is the first y that I see, so I'm going to put down y1. This is the second x that I see. I'm going to put down x2. And this is the second y that I see. I'm going to put down y2. So now I am going to use the formula to substitute into the numbers into that formula. I immediately put m equals and then 2 minus signs and the division symbol. All right, the division fraction symbol. All right, so now my y2 is -3. So I'm going to put that in right now. Minus sign from the formula, and then y1, which is right here, it's 1. x2 minus x1, x2 is 0, minus x1, which is 2. Okay, so the slope now becomes -3, and by the way, I'm going to take the calculator, I'm going to press alpha x, and I have my fraction symbol there. -3 minus 1 over 0 minus 2. And then press enter, and that is 2. Make sure you have your calculator. And yes, that is the same line. That's why we have the slope is 2 for this one when we did rise over run, and the slope is 2 for this one when we use this formula. It's the same formula written different ways. Alright, so let's go on to some rise over run. Which point do I start? Does it matter? No, it does not. So remember, you could run to the right or down 6, or you could run up 6 positive and to the left 7. All right, remember, it does not matter which way that you go. You will still have a rise of 6. All right, so for this one, you're going to have a run of 7 and a rise of -6 because you're going down. Down is negative. Going up is positive. Going to the right is positive. Left, negative. Just like the number line, left is negative. Right is positive. Down is negative. Up is positive. So if you went up and you were rising up, you would have 6. If you are running to the left 7, you would have -7. And remember, as long as one number is negative and one number is positive, if the numerator is negative and the denominator is positive, it's a negative slope. If the numerator is positive and the denominator is negative, you have a negative slope. So these two slopes, even though 6 is negative here and 6 is positive here, 7 is positive here, 7 is negative here, they are the same answer, right? They have the same slope. It's a negative slope, negative fraction. Negative divided by a positive is negative. And so it does not matter which way you go on the line. All right, let's see if we can explore this. This is a line that is graphed, so we are not using y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. We are using, and let me just write it down now, we're using rise over run. Okay, so does the line graphed have a positive or negative slope? If you put the L and the R up here, and I'm not doing that forever, but just if from left to right, does this line go up or is this line going down? If you said up, you're correct. I'm going to circle positive slope. And remember, it goes up from left to right. And that is how you justify your answer. It goes up from left to right. So let's go ahead and connect these points. So you could either go to the right and up and draw your lines as you go, don't wait for me, or up and to the right. Either way, you're going to get the same answer. So I am going to go to the right and then up. And I'm drawing my line from this point, following the grid, stopping there, and then going up, following the grid, right there. All right, so we have that drawn out, and now it is time to count. So from this point, I'm going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. So I'm going to put a 10 on the outside here. Then I am going to count up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Notice that I'm counting the lines itself, not the middle of the boxes. So my rise represents up or down. What number represents the up? Yes, if you said 7, that is correct. What number represents my right, my run to the right? Yes, it is 10. So the slope is m equals 7 over 10. And that is my answer. All right, so discovery. Draw a line with a slope of 0 on the graph. Go ahead, draw that line, press pause now. Okay, so there it is. There is my horizontal line. Hopefully you did have that. M equals 0 on that horizontal line. I did it, and that is it. We're going to go on to the next one. Please go ahead and find your graph, find your slope of this line. Remember, start with L and R on the top. Identify this as a positive or negative slope. Looking from left to right, what do you think this is? This has? Do you think it's going up from left to right, or do you think it is going down from left to right? So if you did say negative, you are correct. Negative slope, please put it down. Down from left to right. All right, go ahead and press pause now and figure out the slope of this line. You can press pause and try the problem now. Okay, so hopefully you did get what I did. Remember, this is a negative slope. Remember, right off the bat, this goes down from left to right. So I'm going to put negative just to remind myself. The slope formula, please write it down as rise over run. The reason why you're using that is because you have a graphed line. So I'm going to put m equals, and I'm going to put my fraction line. So I have a -1 as my rise because I'm going down here. I went down. That is a -1. Then I went to the right 4. As you could tell, I counted, and it is 4. So that is my slope. I am finished. I have a negative slope. It is -1/4. So for the next question, draw a line that has an undefined slope on the graph. Go ahead and do that now. Go ahead. Go ahead. Undefined. Remember, 0 is horizontal. So what's undefined? If you said vertical, you're thinking in the right direction. So I am going to draw my line, and then remember, when you draw a line, make sure that you put your arrows on each end. This right here has an undefined slope. All vertical lines are undefined, have an undefined slope. Horizontal, 0 slope. All right. Anybody have any questions? We're good. Vertical line, undefined, and that's it. Okay. Calculate, rise and run to find the slope of each line. We'll do the first one together, and then you can take the second and the third. So we'll start off with number 1. So right off the bat, I'm going to put L and R, and I know this is positive because it's going up from left to right. So I am going to use these 2 points that they give me, and I'm going to go along the grid this way and then up. when I count, I'm going to count 1, 2, and put the 2 on the outside. Then I'm going to count from here 1, 2, 3, and 4. I'm going to put the 4 there. So my rise is the number that goes up or down. Which number is that? If you said 4, that is correct. My run is the number that I'm going either right or left. In this case, I went right, and that's positive. 4 over 2. So my slope for this line comes out to be 2. M equals 2. All right, go ahead and do numbers 2 and 3, and we'll return to review them. Press pause now. So just coming back with number 2, we know this has a negative slope right off the bat. So I'm going to go down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I'm going to say that that is a negative 5 because I went down. Then I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. Because I went right, I am going to say that that is a positive 6. Sorry. Positive 6. 1, 2, 3, 4. Positive 6. Nice. So my rise is the negative 5. That's the number that goes up. So I'm going to put a negative 5. And my run is my 4. You leave the slope just like that. Please do not do anything with the slope to convert it into a decimal or a mixed number. Please leave it like that. All right, go ahead and do number 3. Press pause and try the problem now. So right now I have a positive slope. I know that because it goes up from left to right. I could tell exactly that it is definitely going to be positive. I connected those points by moving to the right 5, and you see exactly what I'm doing, and then going up 7. So I could have, all right, let's just get the answer. So the rise right now is 7, because that is the one that I am moving up. That's going up, and you rise up. Running, you go left or right, and in this case I went right, and I'm just going to put the 5 down. All right, 7 over 5 is my slope. That's it. Don't do anything else with that. Don't make it a decimal. Don't make it a mixed number. Leave it like that. By the way, you could, if you wanted to, go up. Instead of what I did, you can go up and then connect to the right. If you did that, I want to show you that rising would be the same, that's 7, and running would be the 5. So the rise over run would be the same. It doesn't matter which way you go. It does not matter which way you go. As long as you connect the 2 points, the rules are that you have to stay on the grids of the graph. In other words, you have to stay on those lines. You can't draw a slanted line. You have to draw a straight line, either right or left, or up or down, and then up or down. All right, and that is it for 1, 2, and 3. Hopefully you have no questions on those. Let's go on to the next 2. Look at the graph. Look at each line graphed below. Just by the look of each graph, what do you think? Which one is steeper? A or B? Steeper. So which one's steeper? We're going to say B is steeper. So line B, just put line B, is steeper. Okay, just from the look of it. Now it says calculate the slope. We're going to do that right on the graph. So, and you don't really have to wait for me to do this. Go ahead, identify whether or not it's positive. These are positive or negative graphs, lines, and then go ahead and get the slope of each. Please write the formula down. Remember, rise over run. You can do it right on the graph itself. Just go down here a little bit, and we're going to do rise over run. Connect those 2 points, figure out the rise over run for both, and then we'll come back and review. Press pause, try the problems now. Okay, we are ready to go. Alright, so for this one, I did get 5, and by the way, I didn't draw the loops. Hopefully that's okay with you. Alright, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's why I put a 5 there, and then I have 1, 2, 3. That's why I put a 3 there. So which number represents the rise? Yes, so if you said 3 represents the rise, that is good, 3. And what is the run? It's 3 over 5. So that slope right there is 3 over 5. So in this one, I went to the right and then went up. And there it is. So they're both positive. These are both positive slopes. They're going up from left to right. So that means rise is 6 and run is 2. So 6 divided by 2 is that one you could divide. 6 divided by 2 is 3. So take a look at those. And we said that line B is steeper. Why do you think that is? Take a look. So one has a slope of 3 and the other one has a slope of 3 over 5. Which one has the slope that is further away from 0? Alright, so B has the slope that is furthest away from 0 in this case, and that means the further away from 0 a slope is, the steeper the line. So you're writing that down. The further away the slope is from 0, the steeper the line. What connection can you make between slope and the steepness in a line? Well, the further away the slope is from 0, the steeper the line. So the line B had a slope of 3. Line A had a slope of 3 over 5. The further away from 0 that the slope is, the steeper the line. B is steeper, and that is that. Even if it's negative, like a negative 10 would be further away from 3. Further away from 0 than 3 is. So that means negative 10 would be it would be a decline, but it would be steeper than a line with a slope of 3. So just remember, it doesn't matter if it's negative or positive. It matters that if they're asking you about steepness, steepness could be an incline or decline. So just remember, steepness is just looking at the number on like an imaginary number line and seeing basically how far that is away from 0. Go ahead and see if you can do the same thing with A and B. Which one is steeper right now? We're going to answer that right now because we can look at it and say which one is steeper. So which line do you think is steeper? It's line A or line B? So obviously line A is steeper. Line A is steeper. We could just see it, right? This is steeper. By the way, both of these lines, they have positive or negative slopes. Yep, they have negative slopes because they go down from left to right. Both of them, negative slope, negative slope. All right. But negative slope really has nothing to do with the steepness of the line. The steeper line is A. So that means the slope for A should be further away from 0 than B. Go ahead, see if you could try to find the slope for each of these lines, and then we'll discuss it when we come back. Press pause now. Okay, so I found this right now. I connected these 2 points and I did count down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Since I'm going down, I put -7. 1, 2, 3, 4. Since I'm going to the right, I put +4. So now I'm going to go 1, 2 down, and that's a -2. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 for the run. All right, so my slope formula is rise over run. Let's put these together. Okay, so the rise in this one right here on the left-hand side, line A, is -7. The run is 4. -7 divided by 4. That is the slope. The rise here is -2. The run is 8. If I reduce it, it becomes -1/4. So just bringing up the calculator, remember, it reduces. You should be able to reduce the fraction of -2/8 to -1/4. But if you can't, press alpha X and put -1/4 in. Oh no, not 1/4. Sorry. We'll clear that out. All right, so we're going to put -2/8 in. Say if you're sitting there and you say, oh wait, I don't know how to reduce that. You can press math and you have that fraction symbol right there. All right, so it says -2 and you press it and you press enter and it gives you the reduced form of that fraction. All right, so it's just a nice easy way to reduce a fraction if it's a fraction that you can't think about reducing, or it's a little bit more difficult. -2/8 was not that difficult to reduce, but if you come up with a fraction that is more difficult, you could use that calculator to help you out. Again, you should see that the slope of A is further away from 0. This is over 1, right? It's almost 2. If you divide -7 divided by 4, -2. All right, this one is not even close to being a whole, right? This is very close to 0, -1/4. It's -0.25. Think about that. All right, so, and this right here is -1.75. So you're thinking about it and you say, all right, the further a number is away from 0, the steeper the slope, and you can see it right here. All right, you don't really have to answer this question again, the connection, because we just answered that already. So I'll do the first one with you, and you just have to explain which line is steeper, and it should be a very easy thing for you. So a line with a slope of 6 or a line with a slope of 3, which one is steeper? So a line with a slope of 6 is further away from 0, so that is steeper. Go ahead, answer B, C, and D, and then we'll come back and review. All right, so a line with a slope of -5 is steeper than a line with a slope of -2. Remember, -5 is further away from 0, so we are saying that is steeper. A line with a slope of 3 or a line with a slope of 3. Same slope, same steepness, same slope, equal steepness. And by the way, when you have the same slope, please write this down. Very important. Lines with the same slope equal slopes are parallel. Think about it. So please write that down. Make sure you write that down. Lines with the same slope are parallel lines. If you rise 3 and run 1 on both of those lines, now just think about it. If I have my fingers out like this, rise 3, run 1, rise 3, run 1, rise 3, run 1. The slopes of the lines will be like that. They're rising and running at the same rate. Both of them. Parallel lines. They'll never meet. And that's it. Alright? Explain the strategy that your group used to figure out which line was steeper. And I'm just going to recopy the line that is further, the slope that is further away from 0 is the steeper line. And that's what you should really put down. Make sure you understand the further away that slope is from 0, the steeper the line. Alright, fast finisher. Which is steeper, a line with a slope of -8 or a line with a slope of 6? Well, if you take a look at it, this is the greater number, so it must be steeper. Is that correct? No, it's not correct. Which is steeper? The steeper line has a slope that is furthest away from 0. When you're comparing this has a slope of -8, and this has a slope of 6. Which one is further away from 0? Which is steeper? The slope of -8. So please circle this. It is further away from 0. Let's go on. This is the exit slip. Go ahead and see if you could find the slope of this line using rise over run. And then we'll come back and review. Please do the fast finisher. Please do that fast finisher. Press pause and try the problem now. Okay, so let's go over this one together. Hopefully you did do this already and you're just watching me do it. So I'm going to go down and then I'm going to go to the right. I know right off the bat that this is a negative slope. Well, this has a negative slope. The reason why I know it has a negative slope is that it goes down from left to right. Now I am going to start counting, and I am not going to draw the loops. I'm just going to count with my pencil. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Since I went down 10, I'm going to put -10. Then I'm down here, and I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Since I went to the right, I'm going to put +5. Right now, I am going to write down the rise over run formula. My rise over run, this is a negative slope, -10. This is my rise, the -10. The run is a +5 because I went to the right. If you put -10 divided by 5 in the calculator, you will get -2, and that is your answer. Remember, as soon as I identified that it had a negative slope, this line, I could have canceled out C and D right off the bat, and A and B would be the only two choices left. Remember, too, -2 is a steeper line than -0.5. So -0.5 wouldn't even really be a conversation because -0.5 would be going across less steep, with less steepness, right? It would be going across the whole graph with that less steepness. And that is basically it. So, the fast finisher, besides using the graph, are there any other ways to solve slope for this question? So, we are going to solve a different way. So, give me the coordinates of this point right here. So, the coordinate, and right there, is going to the left 4, which is -4. Please write this down, -4, and then up 6. All right, that's 1 point. Coordinates for 1 point. Then 0, we're at 0, 0. That is the part where of the graph that you want to start at all times to identify coordinates or to graph your points. So at the origin, 0, 0, we're going to go to the right 1 and down 4. Right 1 is +1, down 4 is -4. We have our 2 points, and here's another way we could solve for the slope. So I'm going to immediately label x. This is my first x that I see, x1. The first y that I see, y1. The second x that I see, x2. The second y that I see, y2. To get back to the formula that we used, y2, only once we use this, minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Right, so m equals, and we're going to put down the fraction symbol and fraction line and the minus sign for each, because that subtraction sign is from the formula. So we have y2 minus y1. My y2 I identified as -4. Minus from the formula. y1 is 6. So I'm going to put the 6 down. x2 minus x1. That's 1 minus a -4. So right now, grab that calculator. We're going to just clear this out. And we're going to press alpha x. It is -4 minus 6 on the top part of that fraction. And then also 1 minus a -4. You put it in exactly as you see it, and then you press enter, and you should get a -2. All right, so -2 is your answer. And that's a different way besides using the graph. Is there any other way to solve for slope? Yes, there is. Using the y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1 formula. Please don't forget to do the summary for this lesson, for this 1A. The summary really should be something in full sentences. Please don't list random thoughts, but list full sentences. All right, make sure that you know, like, the summary should be filled out like, all right, like as if someone you're explaining it to that missed class, what do they need to know to do this lesson? All right, so the first thing that they would need to know is formula for slope. So go ahead and put all of your key skills or strategies that you have developed during the way. All right, and we'll see you next time. Thank you for watching.